This is Fight Fans Radio.
Yes, sir, we promised you a great gorgeous George. Here it comes.
Blassie, the maker of
Andre, the giant.
WrestleMania.
Everyone has a price.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is electric. The champ is here.
What's up, everybody? Great Christmas in the traditional sense, like everybody else does. And I put it on Twitter. If someone conned you into buying them a gift this year simply because everyone else in the world tells you to, you're what they call a mark. And you should know. Everyone should know about that here at Cageside Seeds. You're a mark. If someone conned you into buying them a gift for some bullshit holiday, you're a mark. That's all there's to it.
I like that we're getting, instead of Christmas, we're getting Krampus right now on Cageside Live.
Yeah, that makes me sound like the Grinch, but I'm totally like, I titled this episode of Cageside Live, No Grinch Here, because people were shitting all over Raw this past Monday, and I didn't like it. I didn't like the people talking bad on it.
That was the best episode of Raw in years.
That was a great show.
Years.
I read comments on other sites talking shit about it. Like, I read one article where the dude was complimentary, and the people in the comments who don't moderate and have as good of a community as we do, they were bombing this guy. Like, what fucking show is this idiot watching?
That was the most entertaining episode of Raw I'm going to say since the promo. Let's, use that as like a time frame. Since the promo, CM Punk's promo, that was the most entertaining episode of Raw from, top to bottom. And personally, I would love if that was the direction that they went, where it's, some, Scooby-Doo type episode where it's, major plot point, someone gets run over by a car, or, some fictional character gets hurt, and then by the end of the show, he's okay, and the crowd cheers. I would love that for being Monday Night Raw every single Monday.
There's actually a couple points to make here with this, and we're going to joke about it, of course, because, it was awesome. How fucking awesome was it that they're going back to Matt Stryker to get updates, just so Matt Stryker can say, sorry, we don't have any updates. That's fucking genius. We always bitch about how WWE comedy sucks. That's genius. That's the type of shit I want. I want to laugh about it. And if you go in with the right attitude, if you went in thinking you're going to get serious fucking angles and storyline advancement and all this other bullshit, we're in a holding pattern. It's the holidays, and all the angles are building, or they're trying to figure out at least where they're going to start with so they can build it all to WrestleMania. So for right now, stop taking it so seriously. And you shouldn't be taking it so seriously anyway. Last year, CJ Bradford pointed out to me, they did the Holiday SmackDown show last year with Mick Foley as Santa, and it was fucking awful. And I was totally grinching it up and fucking talking all this shit about it because it was just bad. But I was taking it way too seriously. So this year I'm like, I'm going to be cool, whatever, it's going to be whatever. And then they did this brilliant fucking angle the entire show with Santa got hit by Del Rio and everyone freaks the fuck out. I thought it was great.
Man, Ricardo Rodriguez was he made that segment.
He's dry heaving in the corner and shit. Super upset.
Super upset. And then you have the kids in the blue shirt in the background, completely overreacting. It was, and it got to the point that the pop that Santa Claus got and the heat that Alberto Del Rio got, that was the most heat that Alberto Del Rio has ever had in his entire run of the WWE.
It was so much heat that people on Twitter thought they were piping it in.
That was legit. That was legit.
That was heat, dude.
that was the best thing. If they actually stopped this face turn on Alberto Del Rio and they wanted just him be the person who around Easter he kills the Easter bunny or something like that.
That would be awesome.
If that's his new role, I would love that.
Del Rio is the Grinch that spans every holiday.
It just ruins every holiday. I would love that so much.
That would be great. But it underscores the point of the shit that WWE frequently forgets, which is you can't have a heel needs to do heel things. Del Rio is the epitome of a guy who comes out and he just sort of acts dickish. He's kind of cocky and rude and really acts stuck up and fucking high on himself. And so you're supposed to hate him, but you can't really figure out if you want, if you're going to commit to hating him. You're just kind of this guy's kind of a douche. I don't really want to watch him. No, you need to make him do something that makes everybody go, I want that guy dead. Like, you need to kill that guy. And running over Santa is exactly how you do it. He runs over Santa and everybody's like, oh my God, he killed Santa. Someone kick this guy's ass. Right now, I demand vengeance.
And the crowd is chanting, "You killed Santa," which
They
is
knew the score.
like the most absurd chant in the world. Now, it was a tape show, obviously. When was it taped? Was that immediately after the live episode of Raw?
No, I think it was after SmackDown the next night.
Man, that was such an awesome crowd.
Yeah, right after the live SmackDown on Tuesday. So yeah, they somehow they managed to stay awake. That's a 3-hour fucking show. But the other thing,
They were there for like 6 hours then.
they were there for a really long. Well, they're generally really long anyway because they always tape other shit like Main Event and Superstars and all this, fucking insane amount of programming they run. But that's the other thing I wanted to bring up is that why doesn't WWE, if Vince McMahon constantly talks about how they don't do wrestling, they don't make wrestling shows. He likes to talk, we make movies. Okay, that's fine. But you don't ever structure the show that way. Like they do, okay, we'll do an angle early, and it'll kind of build during the show, and then we'll pay it off late. But if they committed to every show the way they committed to this angle on this show, it would be a million times better. Like this was literally the best run angle, and I'm dead serious about that. I know it was campy fun and all this other shit. They structured this and put this together better than any angle they have all year. How fucked up is that? For a throwaway show that they didn't really care about. Where they're like, whatever, we'll have Del Rio run him over, and then we'll do this and this and this and this and this, and it'll lead to this at the end. And it's like, why don't you do that every week? Instead of the stilted, fucked up, oddly paced, really fucking kind of up and down, like they're not really sure how they want to structure it type of show. Why wouldn't they do that every week?
I have no idea. And that's I actually brought that up in the comment thread. I'm like, why does I think my comment was why does WWE films suck so much when they have actually brilliant writers like this? And I wasn't being sarcastic. Like this blew the Tooth Fairy, not the Tooth Fairy. This blew the fucking Triple H's movie out of the water. This blew the Marine 3 out of the water, and that movie hasn't come out yet.
I put the trailer up. It looks awful.
Like this made this was incredible, but the stuff that they're putting in on DVD and it's never going to get to theaters is garbage. This was actually awesome. Like everything was awesome about it. The actual matches, were great. Like, dude, I loved everything. Those 5-on-5 like tag team matches, awesome. How about fucking naming it the Miracle on 34th Street fight? Brilliant. This was the best episode of Raw, top to bottom, as far as writing went, as far as wrestling went, and as far as backstage segments went.
It's like probably one of those shows that, and I can't confirm this, but I assume it's probably one of those shows where Vince doesn't get a hold of it, and he doesn't look at the script and go, fuck, we got to throw this out. Like, it's just because it's the way it is, and they can edit later. It being taped actually helps a lot because they can edit it down, and they can figure out what they want to cut, what they want to keep, and all that good stuff. To where it's like, it's who cares? It's not going to do a great rating, and it didn't. And, none of it matters. Everybody's going to know right off the bat. Don't take this show seriously. Go do other shit. I mean, it's airing on Christmas Eve when, I'm not normal. I'm usually up late all the time anyway, and I don't really celebrate, like I said. Didn't even have a tree up until Christmas Day at my house. So, I mean, it's kind of thing where you're like, who cares? Like, we don't have to make it perfect. But inadvertently, not even realizing that they weren't trying, they pulled it off. Like, that's what kills me about it, that they can do this. And you're right. They can write a really good, entertaining show without a bunch of fluff and bullshit. And they only seem to ever do it when they're not really trying. Which is why SmackDown's such a good show, which is why Main Event's such a good show. They don't pay as much attention to it.
No, because Vince McMahon doesn't care. Vince McMahon cares about Monday Night Raw. That's it. He doesn't care about SmackDown. He doesn't care about Main Event. He sure as shit doesn't care about Nexus or NXT or whatever it's called. He doesn't care about the Saturday morning kids show. He does not care. Vince McMahon cares about two things: pay-per-view and Monday Night Raw. And that, like, since this was taped after SmackDown, I'm assuming Vince wasn't there. Is that a fair assessment?
He's probably there because first of all, it was a live SmackDown, and I know that Triple H typically. Keith says Vince doesn't care about Christmas, which is probably true. Vince probably hates Christmas because he has to give people days off, and Vince doesn't like giving anybody a fucking day off. But
it's like, you're fired wanting Christmas off. You're fired.
Yeah, like there's you want to have Christmas with your family, bring them on the road. Like fucking psychotic type of boss. But like he might have been there, he might not have been. Like it might have been Triple H, but Triple H has been doing more and more anyway, and we're seeing the fruits of his labor. And as much as I've shit on Triple H for a lot of the things he's done on screen and a lot of his, quote unquote backstage political backstabbing and whatnot, the dude's actually got a really good mind for wrestling. And I'm actually looking forward to what the show and the entire company will look like once Vince dies. Like, and I'm not saying I want Vince McMahon to die. I don't want that at all. Mr. McMahon, the character, is probably one of my favorite characters of all time, probably behind Ted DiBiase. But the man himself, I want to see what WWE is like when Vince is not around.
I would love to see that. Because as much as everybody on the internet hates Triple H and how he's so political and blah, 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 like, the guy loves the business. And when he does things, like, when he's able to run things like how he envisions them, usually they're pretty good. And it comes out pretty well, minus the whole Sin Cara thing and Awesome Kong. Like, Triple H is pretty solid. And Stephanie McMahon, she's been around forever, and I think she's probably pretty solid as well when she wants to run these shows. It's a matter of can the writers and the creative team actually have the space and the availability to be creative, wherein like can they actually do what they're being paid to do?
Well, Stephanie McMahon, as a writer, when she was like head of creative, which I think she's still in a similar capacity, she was awful. When she first took over, this is like 01, 02. I mean, she was bad.
Yeah, that's because she's a woman.
Her story... That's horrible. You're saying she was an awful writer just because she was...
Christmas.
Oh my God, you're a fucking... No, but she was horrible. But like we can, what we can thank Triple H for? Fucking Dean Ambrose. Like that's the Shield. That's Triple H. Like, and I assume it chaps the ass of so many fucking people online that the thing that they love most in WWE right now is because of Triple H. Like Ambrose wouldn't be on TV right now if it wasn't for Triple H.
No, not at all.
Or Damian Sandow, like Buckeye brings up. Like, we're talking about, like, the future of the company.
Yeah, like, every single person that you love is probably Triple H right now.
Yes.
Minus Sin Cara.
Yeah, he's in charge of developmental. Well, Sin Cara actually is because of Triple H. Sin Cara was, like, Triple H's guy. That's what
I mean, like, everybody that's awesome minus Sin Cara.
Right. Minus
Sin Cara sucks.
Because he's awful. Cannot stay healthy. I was going to put him on the cut list that I wrote up today, who they should cut after WrestleMania, but I didn't because they're going to have to give somebody the Rey Mysterio spot where they appeal to the other demographics outside of the United States that he actually appeals to. But
man, I have a little bit of heat with your list, man.
What's your heat with my list? I was gonna get talk about the end of the year awards, but if you want to talk about the list, and yes, Buckeye, we'll talk about Austin's comments on Cena. But let me get to my list. What's your heat, man? So
here's the thing. I think Kurt Hawkins, if they repackaged him, he could be another. He could work. He's actually a really, really solid worker, and he's actually really good. I don't want to see him get cut. I think Evan Bourne should get cut. I agree with Mason Ryan getting cut. But the person that I really think that should get cut the most, and his name is escaping me right now. He's the Scottish guy with long hair. English guy with long hair. I can't think of his name right now.
English guy with long hair. Who the fuck are you talking about? Is he on TV?
No, he's not on TV anymore. This is going to bother me.
He's never on TV now?
Yeah, you keep talking, because this is...
Regal?
No, not Regal. He's awesome.
I was going to say, don't you dare talk bad about William Regal.
Who am I thinking of?
Oh, fucking Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, that guy.
Dude, he's in 3MB, dude. You can't cut anyone from 3MB.
Cut Drew McIntyre. He sucks.
Oh, he's great.
He's the weirdest
He used to
looking
suck.
dude. He's the weirdest looking dude.
He does look weird, but he's in 3MB. They all look weird.
Get
And
rid of him.
Slater and Mahal, that's a great stable. But Mysterio's gone. He needs to be, like, people are disagreeing with that super big. Like, dude, he's, like I put in the article, he's gone through more knee surgeries than Ric Flair has wives. Like, this guy's hurt every fucking 10 minutes. Like, when he came back, apparently he did a spot where he jumped down from the apron to the floor on the outside and hurt his knee doing that. That's a real thing. Like,
That's
dude,
not a
come
real
on.
thing. That's not a real thing.
That happened. From the apron to the floor, which is like, that's like 3 feet, not even 3 feet in the air, 3 feet up, and he jumps it, and his knee fucking buckles. Like, come on, dude. If you're that fucked up, get out. Especially when your entire style is predicated on being able to do matches like that.
Yeah, but what about
flying moves?
But here's where my beef comes in. You want to get rid of Mason Ryan. I completely agree with that. But what about Ezekiel Jackson, who's just as worthless?
I almost put him on there, but I didn't because he's black.
Racist.
we got to keep him in work to make sure they keep enough black guys on the roster.
That's so bad.
I kind of like him, actually. And part of it is definitely my own bias. Like, that's why Mason Ryan's on there. Somebody brought up repackaging him, or as they talked about, they thought they saw him as a lumberjack, and they did, because they only ever bring him out for, like, backstage spots where there's a bunch of jobbers hanging out in one place or whatever. Repackage him as a dude named Lumberjack. And only ever have him come out for lumberjack matches where he just beats the shit out of all the rest of the lumberjacks. Like, wouldn't that be great? There's so many good ideas like that WWE never fucking uses. ATG, go ahead.
Like Yoshitatsu.
I almost put him on, but I didn't because I like Yoshitatsu. He does nothing.
How?
Yeah, I think he's been seen like once, and that was in the segment on this past week when Del Rio got yelled at by all the other wrestlers for running over Cena. He was just in the background.
You would rather cut Kurt Hawkins than Great Khali. That's where my real beef. That's where I'm beef.
Okay. Do you believe? I would rather Khali not be there, but I don't think they're going to cut him. And he's like people, like you can't look at all of it like just in terms of, okay, I don't like the guy or the guy can't work. Okay, but he brings other shit to the table. Like he is a live attraction. Like people, you go to a live show and it's why Andre the Giant was an attraction. He wasn't a great wrestler. He wasn't a great worker. He was fucking huge. And it's impressive to see these super big guys in person. Like, Great Khali is a gigantic man. So when he's walking down the aisle, the people who are there, they're looking at him and going, whoa, that dude's really big. And that's like a memory they have forever. So there's a place for guys like that. Okay, so I'm just saying, that guy can stay because he brings something to the table. What does Kurt Hawkins bring to the table?
Well, I mean, he was part of a tag team with Zack Ryder. Why not bring that tag team back?
Do you remember the name? I don't. Weren't they tag-alongs?
Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins hang out with Edge. That was what it was called.
Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins hang out with Edge, yeah. That's what I was going to say. Weren't they just hang-alongs who just hung around with her? Or no, what they call them? Edge heads? Was that it? No. Maybe that's... I don't know if that's right.
Now, the kind of going back with Great Khali, what the fuck was he saying? Like, that man should never have a microphone. Ever.
Oh, when he was singing?
Yeah. Merry Christmas. I miss you. Happy Christmas. I miss you.
It sounds like you're saying Merry Christmas, I miss you.
Like, somebody in the back should, like, in the gorilla position, should have just turned off the microphone. Just kill it. Don't let that guy speak ever.
It was worth it totally because fucking CM Punk making fun of it when he came out immediately. Just looking at Heyman and laughing like I was totally going to do that. I wasn't going to do that until I got out here, but that was awesome. People are asking about Hornswoggle, Stan Stansky. Awesome name. Are we going to, you want to cut Hornswoggle? Of course. But again,
Hornswoggle's awesome.
Oh my God. You might be the only person I've ever heard say that.
The Royal Rumble? Come on, he's amazing in the Royal Rumble.
There you go. He's got worth. That's why you don't put him off, because he's got worth. Everyone on this list.
He did an AA. He did a super kick to the shin. He did the tadpole splash. He did the 5-knuckle shuffle. The guy's a worker, an amazing worker, and he has more than 5 moves.
This is true. I'm not going to argue against Hornswoggle. He's got worth. Everybody on the list doesn't have worth right now. I mean, Mysterio, you could argue he does, but he's so fucking hurt that just cut bait. So Mysterio, Tensai, Ted DiBiase, Kurt Hawkins, Evan Bourne, Mason Ryan, and JTG. None of those guys are worth shit right now. And you could find other guys like Trent Beretta. That dude's still on the roster. You could probably cut him, and it ain't no big deal. But, I mean, that's an unexciting name to put on the list. And, yeah, I do it for the hits, bitches.
They should cut Tamina Snuka for not being an actual woman in the Divas division.
Fuck. This thing's going off the rails already.
Because she has a penis.
She has. You got sources confirming that, or?
Nope.
Shit.
That's a legend.
Hang on. As we're speaking, as we're doing the show, WWE main event is taking place on Ion. Buckeye Brawler lets us know in the comments section here on Cageside Live. He says, wow, Great Khali just won a battle royal on main event for a U.S. title shot against Antonio Cesaro.
I think that's going to be the funniest match, because how is Cesaro going to make him look good?
I don't know how he can't hit the neutralizer. There's no way he could do that spot where he fucking uppercuts the fuck out of him. The fucking Horyuken or whatever.
Shoryuken.
Yeah, the Shoryuken or whatever it's called.
That's what he's going to have to do. He's actually going to have to jump and actually have his hand on fire to punch him in the head.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck they're going to do with that. And that's awful. That is fucking awful. Thank you, Bradford, for doing the fucking live blog for that. And thank you, Buckeye, for letting us know that fucking Great Khali just won a battle royal to win the U.S. title shot. I don't know when the title shot's taking place.
Man, I hope it's at a pay-per-view. And it's
it would have to be the wrong.
And it's a long-running feud, like for 4 months.
Like the first match is at the Rumble, and then it ends at WrestleMania. The big blow up at Mania. And
that's when Khali captures the U.S. belt.
He finally overthrows Cesaro and brings the U.S. title back to fucking
India.
Like, this is such an awful idea. I don't even like. You know what's funny though is, like, as much as we bag on Cena, John Cena might be the only guy who ever got a good match out of Great Khali. Like, the only guy.
I mean, the Punjabi prison match was solid.
Okay, that was Undertaker. So, yeah, I don't know.
No, Punjabi prison was Batista.
They did it a few times.
Okay.
I think they did it with Big Show, too. So, you're talking about Batista.
Yeah, I'm talking Batista.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't like that match. Not a lot going on. And Khali just scares me because every time he takes a step, I'm afraid a bone is just going to go flying out of his leg. Like, he will just completely fall over, and his bones will be exposed to the world. Kids everywhere, scarred forever. And some sort of controversy. Although the hits, the fucking video that I would put on Cageside would get a shitload of hits, so maybe I kind of hope it happens.
So you're kind of hoping that happens.
And I hope maybe it happens now.
And you can write a story, rest in peace, Great Khali's knees.
A detailed blow-by-blow of the entire incident, yeah. Recaps there. I'd do a whole story stream of, like, 58 updates.
Yeah, but speaking of John Cena, him on Monday night was the best thing about Monday night. Actually, his whole overacting was my favorite part. The other favorite part was Dolph Ziggler and AJ.
Thunder Down Under, thanks for being back with us. He's in the thread talking about this is his first live podcast in a long time. Good to be back. Good to have you back. But yes, Dolph Ziggler and AJ were creepy as fuck, which I guess is kind of the point. Dolph Ziggler, the ass wiggler, or the butt wiggler, whatever she said. I love that. That's got to stick. But Cena was oddly entertaining, and people, go ahead. If you want to shit on us, feel free. But Cena was actually really good. Dude, no. Del Rio throwing the fucking teddy bear in the main event when he opens the present that Rodriguez gets for him, and it's a fucking teddy bear, and he looks at him with death in his eyes, and then he like shrugs his shoulders, he's like, fuck it, I'll try it anyway, and throws a fucking teddy bear at Cena, and it just bounces off. Like, if you're not entertained by that, check out. Just pack your fucking gear bag and get the fuck out of here, because you're never going to be entertained by anything WWE does if you're not entertained by a guy throwing a fucking teddy bear at another man in the hopes that it will injure him. It only would have been better if Cena would have like shot back like he got hit by a fucking bazooka.
Oh
like
my god! If Cena sold that, that would have been my favorite. That would have been the spot of the century.
Would have been the greatest moment of all time ever.
But like Alberto Del Rio actually, I think, got hit in the balls with the bowling ball because he did the "I just got hit in the balls" laugh that everybody does before they kind of recognize that they got hit in the balls.
Yeah. Keith Harris is in the thread. Keith, what's up, man? Thanks for all your hard work on the site. He says, where's Johnny Ace to book the Great Khali to use a flying kick off the top rope as his new finisher? And this is funny because I believe he's talking about the infamous moment that you've all seen in GIF form. It was Johnny Ace who convinced Sid Vicious, or I don't know what they were calling him in WCW at the time, in that one match against Steiner, where he jumped off the second rope and broke his leg in two. You remember that?
Yeah.
The worst. That's still to this day might be the worst injury I've ever actually watched.
And he was known as Sid Justice. And his knee, like his leg exploded.
Yeah. It just went the fucking completely wrong way. Like, I don't know that I've ever seen an injury worse than that. And Stan Sansky is telling people, don't put the GIF up because it bothers the shit out of them. Yes, please don't. Someone did put the GIF up, though, of Del Rio with the teddy bear. He screams before he throws it. Oh, man. Buckeye, you're the best for putting this up. He fucking screams before he chucks it, and then he holds his arm in the air after he throws it. Oh, that's fucking great. That's the best GIF of all time, dude. I can't get over this. Seriously, if you don't like that, you're the fucking biggest piece of shit on earth. Ricardo's like, do it, fuck it. He fucking chucks it. Oh, shit. If Cena would have sold this, dude, I would be dead right now. I would die laughing.
I wish like I got to see Dolph Ziggler in that match because Dolph Ziggler would have sold that to like he would have sold it like $1 million. It would have been the best. It would have been the best sell job. Dolph Ziggler would have fallen on his head.
Just go flying off the stage like into the car and then drive the car into a wall or some shit.
That's what Dolph Ziggler would have done. He would have been like, teddy bear? Okay, I got hit with a cannon.
Oh man. That's just awesome. I can't. I would put that on the front page, but at the end of it, it says fuck. Like, if you can get rid of that, I would put that on the front page, and we can all just laugh for the rest of the fucking night. That is so good. He fucking screams before he throws it, and leaving the arm out for the follow-through.
No, but like, Ricardo is like, he's like, just do it. Throw it. Like, that's what Ricardo's doing.
Fuck it. Do it. Make it happen. It might work. And you see this guy starts out like, what are you doing? And then he just looks at the teddy bear. Oh, shit.
Like we've never seen John Cena not sell for a teddy bear.
Yeah. For once, his no selling is actually not the worst thing in the world. But if he would have sold this, it would have been the best. Oh, my God. Like, I literally cannot stop. I have to get away from this thread. That's so fucking good. Thunder says, how do we think the ADR face turn will go? Mid-card, or can he actually do something with it? I didn't realize he's still a face.
Maybe is he still a face?
After that episode of Raw, I don't know.
I mean, maybe that was the way of like actually turning him into like a monster heel. And again, stealing my idea and like going forward, they're just gonna have him like accidentally hit an old lady with his car, or like
Mae Young,
or like leave a banana peel on the floor and like an old person in a walker slips on it. Like that would be the best thing if they turned Alberto Del Rio into a comedy act and just let Ricardo do Ricardo.
Ricardo definitely needs to be on his own because he's a genius who can do a lot of really cool shit. But as far as the face turn, I don't know if they're going to commit to it or not. But again, you have to like something about a guy has to have something you like. And there's really nothing about Del Rio that I can look at and go, wow, that's cool. Or, well, I like him. Or, like he could save an old lady in the street about to get hit by a bus, which is a super babyface thing to do. I don't know that I like him. Like, I don't. So, to answer your question, it's probably not going to go well. And they've already kind of not, they turned him without really turning him, just put him against bad guys. And then the fucking very next taping right here, he worked totally as a heel. Which, can we talk about for a second how it's weird that, what's the message there? Like, I put in the reactions post, if I was to take the show seriously, which I was trying not to do, and even the GIFs are making me die. But if you took it seriously, he hit Santa, but then he spent the rest of the show, profusely apologizing, saying it was an accident. Ricardo is fucking dry heaving and bawling his eyes out. He's so upset that this took place. They're both really sad. It's totally an accident. And WWE, when they put up their video later on, it actually says Alberto Del Rio accidentally hit Santa Claus with his car. Santa Claus is definitely standing in the exact spot in which Del Rio rides the fucking car in, off in a dark corner. They bring out Otunga to make a compelling case against Santa, and he actually makes a good case that Santa's in the fucking way. He wasn't invited here. Del Rio's just doing his job. The same entrance he does every fucking time he comes out. And the whole time I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to. Seriously, please. I'm very sorry. I hope he's okay. Hope everything's cool. And everyone shit on him. And they were like, I don't care. It's clear you did it on purpose. Even though they later admitted he didn't. And Cena's like, whatever. And Booker T's like, fuck you. Santa wants you in a match, so we're putting you in a match. And when he's in the match with Cena, he's begging him on his knees, I didn't mean to do it. I'm so sorry this occurred. I apologize. You don't have to spray me with that fire extinguisher, John. You don't have to do this, man. I have nothing but remorse. And they still humiliated him. Is that a message you want to send on a show like this?
Dude, it kind of goes back to what I've said before. John Cena is a bad guy. He's actually he's the heel for a while. He's been the heel. But for some reason, it's just no, he's the good guy. No, he's not. He's actually the bad guy this entire thing. Other big beef I have with that is, why are you letting a clearly concussed Santa book a match?
Exactly. He's concussed, and these are his words. They even admit it before he passed out. His final words. He's so fucked up. He is so fucked up that he's literally passing out. But he's like, put Del Rio in a match against Cena. Make it a street fight. Use all the fucking props on the stage to beat the shit out of each other. Come on, really? He's concussed and you're letting him make matches, and then you're letting everybody humiliate Del Rio, who's really broken up. I don't know about this.
I hope it leads to a John Cena heel turn.
No, Cena's never going heel. Unfortunately, that's never going to happen.
Ooh.
But people wanted us to talk about John Cena and the comments that Stone Cold made, so we'll touch on that before we touch on the year-end awards we're doing. John Cena is. They asked Stone Cold, do you think John Cena could make it in the Attitude Era? Would he be as big of a star? And Stone Cold said, yes, I do, because John Cena's at his best when people poke and prod him and they get the best out of him. So if he was in the Attitude Era, working with a shitload of stars, we're talking Stone Cold, Undertaker, Kane, The Rock, Triple H, all these big stars that were there at the time. And that's not even including everybody. There's a lot more. Had he been in that era, he would have done just fine because they would have, he'd have come out. Stone Cold's like, I'd have smacked him around and fucking started shit with him, and we'd have made a ton of money together. So my question to you: would John Cena, in the Attitude Era, been a big star?
I'm not sure, and he clearly has the charisma to do it. It would need to be a different version of John Cena, though, because I think that he's too goody-goody for it. Like, the Attitude Era was pretty dark, was really dark, if you think about it. Like, Stephanie McMahon getting, almost getting crucified, the Hell in the Cell matches, all the blood and everything. Like, that's not John Cena, at least how we know. And even when he was, the doctor of thugonomics, he wasn't, and I feel like such an asshole saying that. Like, that phrase, doctor of thugonomics, just sounds like my brain just exploded. Even, when he was edgy, he wasn't really edgy. But, a repackaged John Cena, yeah, he could have, because he definitely connects with the fans, and he definitely has charisma. I just don't think that I would see him more as, a Matt Hardy.
Oh, wow. That far of a drop?
I just don't see. I don't see him, his character, or whoever he is right now, translating into the Attitude Era the same way. He would be like a Mick Foley, I guess. But
they had white guys at the time who acted like Cena did when he was quote unquote edgy, and that was too cool.
Yeah, but
that kind of says how he'd be.
He'd get as high as Rikishi. Let's say that. He wouldn't be a star. He wouldn't be a main eventer. He would be Rikishi Fatu.
That's not the worst thing in the world, I guess. But I mean, I can see Austin's point that if he was the edgy guy, and the thing about that too is, was he edgy when he was edgy? This is 2003. I mean, we're talking about a different time. I mean, this is 2003 going into 2004 and a little bit of 2005. The edgy couldn't be as edgy as you could in the Attitude Era. Like you said, that shit was beyond dark. It was straight up fucked up. They were doing crucifixion angles where Undertaker had fucking literally kidnapped Vince McMahon's daughter, tried to get her possessed, then was going to marry her, then murder her, and fuck the corpse. This is all the implied shit they talked about, and then, Austin made the save. That's how fucking nuts the storylines went. We don't ever get anything like that now. And in some ways, we're better off for it. And the Attitude Era, I've watched, lately I've been checking out old clips because I found a channel that has, entire old episodes of Raw. And that shit didn't age very well at all. I don't know if it's just that I'm grown up and I actually look for problems with what they're doing. And I was a teenager then, and it was oh, this is just crazy, and that makes it cool, which I assume is the thing that I enjoyed. But that shit didn't age very well. Because it's, like you said, really dark, really fucked up. But if Cena was there then, he could have been way more edgy. He could have got away with so much more shit. So I think in some ways, yeah, he could have been an upper mid-card guy, maybe a career Intercontinental champ. Never the main guy. Ever.
Never.
He couldn't come close to The Rock at that time, or Austin, or even Triple H. I mean, those guys were fucking really good, and they were all really good in the ring. And Cena couldn't hang. I don't think he could hang. Not with that.
The guy on the roster currently that I think would have translated better to the Attitude Era, and it's not CM Punk. It would be Randy Orton. I think Randy Orton, if you're picking somebody from the roster that would have fit in better for the Attitude Era, it would be Orton.
I can see that. And it's really weird to think of any of them in that era because some of them were in that era, like Undertaker, I guess. But maybe he's probably the last of the guys who were really deep involved in the Attitude Era. But none of them really, because it's just Cena right now. And Austin talked about this. He's got no one to push him. He's got no one to make him better. It's not. You can't improve if the competition around you is absolute shit. If no one ever tests you. And Cena basically is a big fish in a really small pond. That there's no one who can touch him. Even CM Punk. CM Punk's been WWE champion for 400 and I think 3 days now. 404, something like that, in a row. Like, that's a long fucking time. That's longer than we might not ever see a reign this long again. And it'll be at like 420, 428, 9, maybe 430 by the time it's over, if he loses at the Royal Rumble. And we might not ever see that again. And despite that, I still won't look at 2012 and think of CM Punk. I just won't do it. Because he's overshadowed by John Cena.
So looking back at 2012, what's the defining moment? Let's, because you're talking about the end of year awards.
The year end awards, yeah.
The year end awards. Let's start from the top. Your favorite match of the year.
The match of the year voting started today, and we're doing 6 awards, I believe. Started Monday. The last award's going to go for voting on Sunday, and then next Monday, the poll will close Sunday night for the first award we put up, and then on the next day we'll announce the winner, and then Tuesday we'll do the same, so on and so forth. So everything that goes up gets a week to sit up there to get votes.
But what is Gino Morosco's match of the year? Morosco, sorry.
Yeah, it's cool. Everyone fucks up my name. I voted today. Here are the choices today: CM Punk versus Chris Jericho, WrestleMania 28. Sheamus versus Daniel Bryan, Extreme Rules, which has no votes. What the fuck is wrong with you people? I didn't vote for it, but that was easily one. That might be number 2 on my list. Triple H versus Undertaker, WrestleMania 28. Punk versus Bryan, Over the Limit. The World Heavyweight Elimination Chamber match at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, which was Daniel Bryan and when Santino almost won the title. Lesnar versus Cena at Extreme Rules. Aries versus Samoa Joe at Slammiversary. Aries versus Bobby Roode at Destination X. Styles versus Christopher Daniels at Destination X. Styles versus Daniels versus Joe versus Kurt Angle at Hardcore Justice. No votes for that, which sucks. The Shield versus Team Hell No and Ryback at TLC. And Sheamus versus Big Show at Hell in a Cell, which also has no votes. It's a 3-horse race right now. The Shield versus Team Hell No and Ryback has 26% of the vote. The CM Punk versus Daniel Bryan Over the Limit match has 25% of the vote. And Triple H versus Undertaker at WrestleMania 28 has 28% of the vote. It's winning by 1 vote right now. Okay. Over Team Hell No. I voted. That was my vote. Triple H versus Undertaker at WrestleMania 28.
I actually just voted, and that was my that was my choice. I think that Triple H Taker. Besides the whole nostalgia, like there was legit psychology there.
Yeah, teammate Burner. I'm going to read this comment that he put. Mortarface was shitting on that match. He said, "I found it annoying, in all honesty, the stopping and saying end this from Triple H when he was saying that to Shawn Michaels." He said, "I can't say I was really into the match at any point. I never anticipated Undertaker losing either. Perhaps it was my certainty that it was going to be 20-0 that stopped me from enjoying it." And teammate Burner's response to this, he said, "That's fair enough, and I won't begrudge someone their opinion. But I had the same feeling going into it. I didn't want to see the match again. I didn't care. The build-up was boring for me, and I was obviously convinced that Taker was getting his W. However, all of a sudden during the match, and quote-unquote, I think it was Gino who originally pointed this out, but apologies if I'm crediting the wrong source. You're not. It is me that pointed that out. Said I start thinking, holy shit, Trips really is going to put himself over on Taker here. Wow. Then the sweet chin music into the pedigree spot where you thought, holy fucking shit. It's going to happen. Like he's going to get the pin and Triple H is going to beat him. Like, this is nuts. And then Undertaker kicked out. And he said, I marked out like a little kid who still believes, and I don't get too many of those moments anymore, so that's why it was a match of the year. That is exactly why you should vote for that match.
Exactly.
Because as an adult, you're not ever going to get, like, those moments are so difficult to find, and this is 25, fuck, Taker's been in the business for like 30 years. Triple H, almost as many. They've been around forever. They've built their careers for that moment in that match, for that to happen. And Shawn Michaels the same. Shawn Michaels, his whole career. It all built to a sweet chin music and then a pedigree right after it, and you thought, oh my God, this is it. And then he kicked out. And you're like, no fucking way. Like, I don't know. Like, even now, I can't help but smile and think about the whole sequence and how fucking crazy the crowd was. And our boy Sergio was in that crowd marking out just as hard as everybody else. It's like, you're going to tell me that Punk versus Bryan at Over the Limit was as good as that? Are you fucking crazy? You're crazy.
Yeah, there's no way.
way.
There's no way. That was the match of the year. I would say that the Shield Hell No Ryback, that was a solid match. And you know, if in a different year, we may be talking about that being match of the year.
Yes, it's currently in second, and it's recent too. I mean, we just saw it, so that's definitely helping that it's getting as many votes as it is. But
All right.
yeah, okay.
So we got the match of the year. What's the and you started talking about the other categories.
Let's see what the other categories are. That are at least the ones that are up for vote right now. Breakout Wrestler of the Year and Wrestler of the Year are the only other categories right now that are going.
Okay, so Breakout Wrestler of the Year.
Okay, here are I'm going to give you the candidates, and you tell me who you vote for.
Okay.
Damian Sandow,
Right.
Antonio Cesaro, Daniel Bryan, Austin Aries, Bully Ray, Ryback, Dolph Ziggler, and AJ Lee.
I'm gonna say that that I believe it would be Daniel Bryan. That's the obvious choice for me.
Yes, he's winning in. He's got 45% of the vote, but he's actually winning in a landslide. No one has anywhere near the votes he does. He's got 54 votes, and second place has 13.
I mean,
second place being Dolph Ziggler.
I mean, the guy has basically changed everything about him over the entire about himself over the entire year, and it's working. You know, like he is by far the breakout wrestler of the year. People
were complaining because they're like, well, you know, he won the belt in 2011. We're like, that's not what that doesn't mean he broke out. I mean, he was a situation where, like, okay, he's not really working as a babyface, but he's got the Money in the Bank briefcase. We already committed to that. We really need to do something with his character. We need to figure out something with his, you know, with what are we doing with this fucking guy? Like, we know he's got a ton of talent. And he can put on incredible matches, but he just doesn't have it. Like, there's just something missing. And they did that really slow burn heel turn with him, which was just awesome to watch. He single-handedly, between him and Big Show, and I think Henry was still around at that time, they made SmackDown one of the best shows WWE puts out there. I mean, SmackDown in late 2011 was such an awesome show, and it's because of those three guys. And then he turned, but he was better, and he had AJ with him, and he was doing some really great stuff, but he really wasn't quite there yet. And then WrestleMania happened, and he lost to Sheamus in 18 seconds, and everyone in Miami just refused to let that be okay. Completely shit on WWE. The next night on Raw, they went absolutely nuts. He got the yes chant over, turned it into the no chant, and just ever since he's been fucking amazing. He's been huge, and he gets consistently some of the biggest pops. So as far as breaking out, I'm pretty sure that's the exact definition of it. He's been in the business for what seems like forever, and we don't mean Rookie of the Year. We mean the Breakout Wrestler of the Year. So yeah, I think he definitely wins. Yeah, I mean, and not even that, man. Like, think about this. He made, like, before Mark Henry got injured, there was talk that Daniel Bryan was going to be the first guy to, like, unsuccessfully cash in Money in the Bank. Yeah, that's how bad he was. Like, that was how deep the abyss was for him of his career, was that he was going to be that guy, the first guy ever to turn in the Money in the Bank contract and not win a title. And it was just by sheer luck that Mark Henry was hurt. That's really what it came down to. Yeah. Yeah, sometimes you get into a situation where there's a little bit of luck combined with, being really good, being in the right place at the right time. The other award so far that's open is Wrestler of the Year. And I think this one's pretty simple. The nominees I put up were John Cena, CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, Ryback, Big Show, Sheamus, Bobby Roode, Austin Aries, Jeff Hardy, and Bully Ray. It's obvious. It's obvious that it's CM Punk, but I voted for Daniel Bryan. Yeah, Punk has 83 votes. That's 61% of the vote. The only person who's got more than 5 is Bryan, who has 36. I'm really it's pretty funny to me because John Cena has 1 vote. Ryback has 3, Big Show has 1, Sheamus has 2, Bobby Roode has 4, Austin Aries has 5, Bully Ray has 1 vote, and Jeff Hardy, to this moment, doesn't have a vote. And TNA built their entire promotion around him all year. His whole story, the big comeback story, and then the Bound for Glory series, which no one thought he'd win, but then he won, and then winning the fucking title, and then now we're going into 2013, and he's still the champ, and they apparently got a bunch of big plans for him and all this and that and the other thing, and didn't get a single fucking vote.
All right, so you've heard me talk. Who is your wrestler of the year?
Yeah, I voted for CM Punk.
You did.
Yeah. Oh, you have to. I mean, he champed the whole fucking year. Okay. He had so many good matches. When they put up a video today about the wrestlers picking their match of the year, and he brought up, he had the match with Jericho, which that was a great match at WrestleMania. He had the match with Daniel Bryan at Over the Limit. He had the match with John Cena at Night of Champions. The dude's been doing really fucking good work. I even liked his match with Ryback at Hell in a Cell. So as far as consistency, all throughout the year, and what he's accomplished, both kayfabe and not kayfabe, I think CM Punk.
I said Daniel Bryan again. It goes back to you look at where he was at WrestleMania with getting completely shithoused by creative, and then somehow the crowd, it made him sympathetic to the point where everybody just got behind him, everyone. There was no one in the building that was like, oh yeah, Sheamus. It was what, really? 18 seconds? Mm-hmm. That's what happened. And then he goes on to have the amazing, absolutely incredible anger management stuff, which that truly was some of the best segments that they produce. And again, they're allowing people to be funny. They're allowing people to showcase their personality. And the Kane Daniel Bryan stuff is amazing. They've made me care about tag team wrestling again.
Yeah, I mean, if you can get over, he's probably as over right now in his tag team with Kane as Punk is as champion. You might be talking me into it. You might be talking me into regretting my vote because, and Buckeye brings up a point, how often this year did we complain about CM Punk being a stale character? And he's right. Punk went from the guy, raging against the machine to becoming another cog in the wheel. And that really sucked. It really sucked to see that transition. And that included calling Daniel Bryan Goatface, which some people might enjoy that, but it's super lazy. And I remember that segment when Bryan essentially did, how it is in WWE now, was as the heel, made a lot of really good points, and totally took a dump on Punk and completely owned him just by telling the truth. And then Punk's response wasn't to address the issues, it was to call Daniel Bryan Goatface. And of course it got over, and they're still using it to this day, and the fucking Mark's stupid crowds cheering it on and shit. And so, Buckeye, you're right. I mean, we definitely had a lot of times where we were like, man, this Punk character sucks. And the guy that was killing Ric Flair at the Slammy Award, that's the CM Punk that we all know and love. The guy who actually has a legitimate beef. The one who acts like Bryan acted in that promo, and he played the role of John Cena. He kind of became Cena a little bit this year. So yeah, I mean, if you're going to vote Bryan, I wouldn't argue with that at all. Bryan's been really fucking good this year.
I mean, again, it goes down to who knows what the merch sales are, man. But Daniel Bryan is the most over guy as far as I can tell by crowd reactions. Everybody loves him, and those reactions are getting quieter for CM Punk.
It tells you, I think merchandise says a lot because it tells you what people are proud to say they like. If you want to put a shirt on, you're advertising that shit. A shirt is basically an advertisement. I don't ever buy shirts because, that's part of the reason. But if you like it enough that you're willing to advertise it and pay to advertise it, right now, is there any WWE-themed shirt from any wrestler that you would want and you would wear and totally be fucking proud about it? For me, it'd be Daniel Bryan. It'd be the no shirt. I don't think there's another shirt out there that I'd want to wear.
I don't know, man. I'm sticking with Daniel Bryan, breakout character of the year. Daniel Bryan, wrestler of the year. Daniel Bryan as the Daniel Bryan of the year.
He's up for another award, the prop of the year. His beard.
His beard is amazing.
His beard is one of the nominees in the prop of the year. There's a let me see the other categories before because I got them set to auto post all throughout the mornings coming up here. Tomorrow's is prop of the year. The day after is segment of the year. The day after that is feud of the year, and finally event of the year. So he might win tomorrow for his beard.
Wait. So you don't have moment of the year?
No.
Okay. So what is your favorite? Because the next time we talk, it's going to be 2013. What is your favorite wrestling moment of the year?
Oh my God, my favorite moment of the year. That's really hard to say. It might. You know what? It might have been that moment when Undertaker kicked out after the Sweet Chin Music and the pedigree, and that sounds lame, but like it was one of the only moments when I legitimately was like, holy shit. And that's in a crowded room full of people, where I stopped doing I was working the show, I was doing shit for Cageside. I literally stopped for a second and just like marked out with everyone in the room with me, like, wow, this is awesome, this is so fucking great. So yeah, I mean that might be it.
That's a good choice. Mine is Aces and Eights. I'm kidding.
The big reveal with Devon. That's the moment of the year. Devon is unmasked. or Doc, fucking Luke Gallows and shit.
That's actually it. Luke Gallows is the moment of the moment of the year. It's either the Triple H Undertaker match, the kicking out of the Sweet Chin Music. The other one is, even though we all knew it was going to happen, just Brock Lesnar's return. That was
what? That's up for segment of the year is the brawl they had. You remember that pull apart brawl when Cena was bleeding and like smiling through the blood and like they were holding Lesnar back? That's up there too.
Like I think that there's some solid moments of the year. Like again, I'm really bad with names right now. I'm sorry. I've been kind of doing some other stuff all day, but Seth Rollins, that TLC spot where like he was clearly concussed, that's a moment of the year. Having the Shield invade for the first time, moment of the year for me.
I seen on Twitter, I can't take credit for thinking of this, but I seen on Twitter, Ardo Cal, friend of the site, friend of the show, he brought up, we're seeing right now, of course, sports, everybody's talking about the play of the year, and football, play of the year, baseball, basketball, all that shit. So his quote-unquote play of the year for WWE was probably Kofi Kingston's handstand save at the Royal Rumble. When, it might have been The Miz, who threw him out, and he fucking stayed on using his, doing the old Shawn thing where he was going to pull himself back over. But when he tried to do that, fucking Miz threw his legs, just kind of chucked him. And he put his hands down and did a handstand and walked on his hands over about probably 5 or 6 feet to the fucking, to those entrance steps, and put his feet down on the steps and got back in the ring and stayed in the match. So that's what his play of the year is. Yeah, so that's probably up there close to being the moment of the year when he fucking.
And we got one more, and then let's start trying to close out the show. But best pay-per-view of the year from Thunder Down Under. Other than Mania, I'm going to go TLC.
Yeah, probably TLC. Extreme Rules was also a really good show, but yeah, probably TLC. And definitely not the Rumble. I love the Rumble, but fucking Sheamus winning just made me want to kill somebody.
Yeah.
So yeah, probably TLC. But yeah, that's 2012, man. It's basically in the books. And the next time we will broadcast in the year 2013.
All right.
That's easy, dude. Have a fucking good New Year, my man.
Yeah, you too, man. Now, because again, this is going to be the last time we talk until 2013, officially on the air. Any big things coming up on for Cageside Seats in 2013?
There are huge things coming up in 2013. There's going to be on January 2nd. We're going to get, and there's a lot of changes to the layout. So the layout you've gotten used to is actually going to change again. Everyone at the development team has taken into account all of your suggestions and all the stuff that you sent into support and all the different things that you've said that we should do with the site. everyone took that into account. And on January 2nd, 2013, we're going to roll it all out. And you're going to be able to see a brand new looking site. Not too different, but a lot of the stuff that you hated before, that you wished we would go back to, we're going to do. So, but yeah. And then for the Rumble, we're going to do a Rumble look back thing where we post every Rumble leading up to this year.
Oh, man, that's going to be awesome.
Oh, it's going to be great. What about you? What do you got going on at Bleacher Report, man?
So Bleacher Report, I'm going to be trying to do a little bit more pro wrestling coverage over there, too.
Awesome.
So Monday Night Raw is coming over to Austin in 2 weeks, and I'm working on hooking up some interviews. I have a interview scheduled with Mark Henry, which
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. I'm going to be talking about I'm going to be talking about nutrition because the nutrition thing, because like what was the big complaint about his entire career is that he wasn't taking it seriously. He was like fat, overweight. And so I'm speaking with his nutritionist, who's also the nutritionist for Undertaker, and I'm going to be doing a couple of things for Bleacher Report, and same old MMA stuff. And who knows? Maybe I'll show up on Cageside with a fun little anecdote about pro wrestling as a non-hardcore fan.
As a non-hardcore fan, beautiful. All right, and everybody, we hope you have a happy New Year too. Stay safe. If you drink, don't drive. All that good stuff. Call a cab. Do the right thing, but have a good time. And we love you guys. We'll see you next year.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Yes, sir, we promised you a great
Gorgeous George. Here it Ready, comes. Blassie, the makeup champion.
Andre, the Giant WrestleMania!
Everyone has a
Ladies and gentlemen, it is electric.
The champ